In a time when the Taliban was extorting their power over Pakistan, one young woman speaks out against their threats. On July 12, 2013, Malala Yousafzai stands in front of the UN General Assembly after being targeted and shot in the head for having her own beliefs. Malala speaks out to defend people's rights for world peace with a knowledge that can only be acquired through education. To Malala, the importance of education is vital to promising a bright, peaceful future that should be permitted globally. Even though this speech was delivered in front of a live audience, Malala's message was televised and circulated through the internet to each of the many people in this world who are uninformed to the violence against peace, education, and unity taking place today. Throughout Malala's speech, she uses the words voice to mean power and words to represent unity that creates change. At 11 years old, Malala writes a diary describing the violence in her country. Shortly after, BBC Urdu asks Malala to publish her story. Malala agrees even though publishing would reveal her and make her a target to the Taliban. When the Taliban becomes aware of this information, they give her a choice: to be silent and live, or to speak and die. To prove a point, on October 12, 2012, a Talib shoots Malala in the head. Malala's response was to give a speech. How dare the Taliban take away my basic right to education, in Peshawar, Pakistan in September 2008. Malala also creates the Malala Petition, which is a foundation that provides education to children globally. Malala continues to stand up and speak out for all children's right to education. By telling Malala's story to the UN General Assembly, Malala adds relevance to the many attacks affecting the thousands of people being killed by terrorists. In relating her story by being targeted and shot by the Taliban, by saying that she is just one of them, Malala forces her audience to acknowledge the terror that is happening on a global scale. Malala verbalizes, on October 9, 2012, the Taliban shot me on the left side of my forehead. They shot my friends too. They thought that the bullets would silence us, but they failed. Malala uses symbolism to describe how the Taliban forces their power on others by using bullets and shootings as their weapons of power. The Taliban uses fear to silence and gain control. But what Malala helps to point out is that invoking fear is the only way the Taliban knows how to take power. In saying, they thought the bullets would silence us, but they failed, Malala uses strategy in the word thought to highlight the Taliban's fear within the woman's voice, while using the word silence to define what it is that is being silenced: woman's pursuit of education. The power of education, Malala points out, the power of education frightens them, while adding that the pen is mightier than the sword. The word pen uses imagery to connect the power of education and knowledge, while the word sword refers to the invoked fear and violence of the Taliban. Through knowledge, people can unite through unity, and through unity, fear and violence can hold no grounds or control over others. Malala clarifies this message by highlighting a Talib does not know what is written inside this book, affirming that the Talib are uneducated means that their power is only limited to the amount of fear that they can invoke into others. Malala's response to the Taliban is that education is the only solution. Education is first. Malala defends that the use of education is the only way to fight back. It is the only way to achieve peace, global education, and unity to all.